All right, what's up, guys? We are back with the Hasbro Marvel Legends team. We're with, well, not the big three this time. What are we going to talk? What are we going to do? The dynamic duo, the gruesome twosome, Dwight and Dan.
I like
We
that.
don't need to
That
run through
works.
interviews this time. If you're watching this, you already know who these guys are. So let's just get right into it. We had a lot of reveals recently, a whole lot of reveals. The big thing that's been on my mind since the live stream, not necessarily specifically like an action figure, the packaging discussion that came about from that. So what's the I guess what's the projected timeline for when we're going all cardboard and no more plastic?
Yeah, so thanks for the question, Jared. Always good talking to you, man. If you look back, Hasbro, set a goal in 2019 to try to move towards that plastic-free packaging by the end of, I believe it's like the start of 2023. So right now, what you're seeing with the Beyond Amazing packaging, and you'll probably see it in a couple of more figures moving forward in 22, is that we will be sort of phasing it into 2022 for the fall items. But that's not saying you won't see retro credit figures like also in fall of 2022. And I think the goal right now is that we're aiming to, by spring 2023, to shift to that plastic-free packaging. That's the goal, and it might change, as of today's. But we're really excited about, adding sustainability. That's a value that, Hasbro really believes in. And so, yeah, I'm personally very excited about it.
What does that mean for, you brought up the retro credit collection, what does that mean for the retro credit stuff?
Yeah, so I think we're still evaluating everything when it comes to plastic-free packaging. If there is a substitute to what the retro cards are, it's going to obviously have to be plastic-free packaging as well. So it might be a little bit different, but we still haven't revealed exactly what that's going to look like. But yeah, just stay tuned, and we'll have to see what that is.
Okay. One more question about the packaging, and then I won't harp on it anymore. What do you think about the response towards issues with folks not being able to, quote unquote, find the best figure when they're looking in retail stores, or the possibility of increased like figure swapping, things of that nature? Is that, I'm assuming that's something that's been at least brought up internally as a concern?
Yeah, those are, big considerations that we had to put into it when we designed this new packaging.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, like with figure swapping, right? I think personally, I just want to emphasize that we should normalize what figure swapping is, which is, not from a societal standpoint, like that's not something that we should be normalizing, right? But we did put that into consideration because we know that is a reality, unfortunately. And yeah, as far as QC concerns, Dwight could go more into it about how we're trying to do new ways to mitigate and make sure that there are no imperfections from each figure to each figure. And hopefully the fans and the community has seen that, we've been better at it, to being more consistent, so that there is no issues with the deco. That doesn't always happen 100% of the time. But I do think that there is, a transition of the community who purchases things more so online anyway. And if they pre-order things, like, you're not going to have that ability to check for the best figure anyway too. So yeah, I know it's a new kind of world a little bit, but we're super excited by the fact that we're trying to make it a more environmentally friendly and sustainable world. And yeah, Dwight, if you want to kind of go into the QC part of it a little bit more too.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've let the fans know that we're moving from photoreal just being used on MCU to being used on comic characters as well. And I think most people will agree that that change on the MCU side alleviated a lot of the issues we had been seeing in the past. While nothing's perfect, it's been a massive improvement. So we're taking that same kind of improvement towards our classic figures now, which should alleviate a lot of those types of initial concerns. I know when I'm flipping through figures on a shelf, the first thing that I'm looking for is a perfectly decoed face. So by going to the photoreal, that should really alleviate a lot of those concerns. And just like any figure that comes in, the core team sits down and reviews a sampling of the production run, and we compare everything to our paint masters to make sure that we are as on top of everything as we possibly can. Yes, occasionally, sometimes something's missed, on a figure here and there, which is, unfortunate. But when we're doing that many figures, I think that's just something that happens from time to time, but, we're obviously, we have our consumers affair department, which can help with making sure that, you're happy with your, purchase at the end of the day. And we're going to do the best we can to make sure that everything you guys pick up, whether it's on a store shelf or from an internet website, is up to snuff and is as good as we can possibly make it.
Great. Yeah, Dan, your point about, people mostly pre-ordering is kind of the thing that runs through my mind, is because that's pretty much how I get all my stuff anyway. I don't normally see it before it gets here to begin with. And I know it's still a thing, people want to hunt and, you still want the best possible product, but, pre-ordering for me is kind of the thing. So the reality of it is I don't see my toys until they get here anyway, more often than not. But okay, so I appreciate the clarity on that. There was a lot of Spider-Man stuff shown, obviously, the whole Beyond subline that's going on. The one that kind of stood out to me the most, and it kind of threw me for a loop because either I didn't pay enough attention when it was, sort of initially revealed, is the Null 2-pack. Because we got that sort of teaser way back with the first reveal with the renders of him. And then we found out that he's coming with Venom. What was the sort of reasoning behind making that a 2-pack? I was sure that he was going to be a Build-A-Figure. I was just sure that he was going to be a Build-A-Figure. And then he got thrown into that crazy 2-pack. Is it just more of these two figures don't necessarily fit into another wave, so where they couldn't be a BAF, or they just kind of was like a face-off 2-pack that you guys wanted to do?
I think in at a different time in the year, Null could have very easily been a Build-A-Figure. You're absolutely correct. But with this being a fall timing program is kind of what we were trying to think. We wanted to do something new and fresh, something modern, and that story arc just kind of lent itself to a monstrous 2-pack really, really well with the giant Venom wings. And we're like, it was too cool not to find a place for like that Venom. And that Venom, the size of those wings are pretty impressive. So I think that could have been challenging for our package fit. So it made more sense to kind of offer that up in some other way. And then having a character like Null, which is all new, but he's also pretty massive in height. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but I want to think he's over 8 inches tall. So he's pretty impressive too. It just kind of, it just made sense at a 2-pack. But you are correct. If it was a spring item or a January item, Null could have very easily have been a Build-A-Figure somewhere.
Gotcha.
I think the luxury we get with the sublines for like the fall programs is that we're able to not just be limited to a certain price point or just a Build-A-Figure type of wave, right? So once we had this opportunity, and we also as a team want to continuously innovate, to not just be like one single like 6-inch figure, right, with a bunch of accessories. So having this opportunity to have Null, and because it is a Spider-Man program, we wanted to do something that was Spider-Man-ish, like Spider-Man adjacent. And the best thing is like Venom, right? And to do this Venom on that movie body that was like in high demand, but like in a comic way, right? So yeah, we wanted to surprise you guys a little bit, and hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That Venom was a surprise. Very, very excited to see a comic Venom on that body, and the wings look absolutely ridiculous. So that's going to be a cool one. Speaking of the Spider-Man stuff, we saw there's obviously a lot of Spider-Men that got revealed. There's a new body coming with that first appearance, right? That's a new, slightly smaller pinless body, and then we saw the retro body with pinless limbs this time around. Are we kind of getting to the turning point where we're not going to see pinned arms anymore? Is this kind of where it starts? Because I know there was kind of a mix. There were some that have pins still and some that don't. It kind of seems like we're maybe inching towards that point where we won't have mismatched Spidey arms anymore when it comes to those pins. Are we there?
We're really close. I think it's, it'll come down to our capacity on how many types of Spider-Man we're doing at one point in time. If
Okay.
we're trickling them out, we should be able to use the pinless arms on most Spider-Mans going forward. And we would love to be pinless on everything, but our tooling libraries are so deep and we do so many figures, we still have to use a lot of our existing tools. So you'll see that still for, the foreseeable future, dependent on tooling usage, character selects, and costuming, because there are some characters that you can't do pinless easily.
Okay.
Because of the manufacturing processes that involves. So
Sure.
you'll still see pinned things coming forward, and we're still going to be making new pinned things when we have to. But when we have the opportunity to, we're going to be trying to make as much pinless as possible. So for Spider-Man, we now have a couple of good sets of arms for him. So I can't promise all, but we'll definitely be trying to make as most as possible to be the red on the outside, blue on the inside.
Great. That's all I really need. That's all I really need. Is this beyond Subline? Is it everything that you guys shown? Is that it, or is there more that maybe is going to trickle out, or was it ever that contained reveal?
Yeah, so if you look back at our fall anniversary programs, normally there are 10 items, and if you count up what we have shown, there's actually 9 that we've actually revealed right now. So there's actually one more that's part of this program technically that we are kind of, waiting, right? We don't want to shoot everything in one load, right? So and just so everyone knows too, just because we did this one program doesn't mean that you won't see potentially more Spider-Mans, like solids, like single figures, like throughout the year. So yeah, don't worry, this is not the only Spider-Man type of stuff for the year. Yeah, you'll definitely be able to see more.
It's Spider-Man. When is he not going to be around in a Marvel Legends year? I mean, he's always there. Switching gears a little bit, we finally got our Toad reveal, and he looks absolutely amazing. I'm really excited for that one. So that's the 4th of the first wave. I mean, you got him back there right now. The first wave of the 20th anniversary. Is there going to be more of the 20th anniversary? Because wave 2 was 20 years ago also. But wave 2 was all like Fantastic Four stuff, and we just got a Fantastic Four retro wave. Is it too soon to go forward, or is it just going to be that contained odd quartet of figures when it comes to that first wave?
Yes, to be transparent, when we were thinking about the 20th line, we wanted to really commemorate the first wave, right? Series 1. And to your point, we have put out multiple Fantastic Four waves, right, in recent years. Just even last year, we put out that retro carded Fantastic Four. Never say never, but for the foreseeable future, I think what we wanted to do with this 20th anniversary program was, condense it to that first 4, and hopefully everyone likes it. Do you like it?
I'm loving it right now. I'm still waiting on my Hulk, but I'm enjoying Cap and Iron Man. Hulk's on the way, but I'm really looking forward to that Toad. He just looks so ridiculous. There's so much going on with all of his deco and those tongues and all that crazy stuff. So he's such a gangly, weird looking figure that I think he'll make a nice, cap to that wave, especially since he is so very much the odd man out when it comes to character selection. It's just such a weird choice. Now this next question I have is tangentially related to the live stream. He was there, but wasn't really the focus. Are there any little tidbits or updates or inklings that you've got about Galactus? How he's coming, how he's doing, current state of mind, anything?
He's been pretty his temperament's been good. He hasn't fallen over and taken out any of my shelves of toys yet. So I think he's been relatively happy with me. Development's going very good. We're really close to having our first in-pack samples sent to us. The last set we received maybe 2 or 3 weeks back. We're looking very good. Some of the coloring wasn't quite right, so we're trying to dial up the blues of his chest armor to be a little bit more like we were targeting with the paint master. So a little bit of, and there was a few spots that were adding a little bit of deco to, just because of his size. When you're rendering it, you're like, yeah, that looks great. And then when you see it, you know, at actual scale, you're, oh man, we need to add a little bit here or there, just because you didn't notice it when it was, you know, this small on your television screen, but when it's so big, you're like, okay, we need to make a few tweaks. So we're still tweaking a little bit of deco to make it as close to the paint master as possible, and to give you guys the most complete looking version of him at the end of the day. All the smaller 6-inch scaled figures are all looking really good.
You don't have a Morg back there you want to throw on screen, just hanging out back there somewhere, do you?
Oh, a Morg. I got. Let's see what I got. Oh, here I do. Actually, I can give it to you.
Oh
Here you
my,
go.
yes. God,
So-
I cannot wait for this figure. You just made my
So, yeah.
day.
Look
He's
at
looking
that,
pretty good.
man.
Dude,
I don't know
that
how-
looks so amazing. I almost want him more than I want Galactus. I just, no joke. I love his character so much. Just like, that's pure like childhood nostalgia stuff for me right there. So I'm really, really excited to see those guys. The selection of heralds, and of course that Doom head, just crazy stuff. So I'm really excited to take a look at Morg, and we'll take a look at Galactus, I suppose, too. Is there going to be just
and if you
Oh, go
got a
ahead.
Galactus, I'm telling you, I teased it last year too, but there potentially could be even more heralds that we haven't revealed this year.
That's what I was
Might be
going to ask.
coming in
Yeah,
the future.
more
Yeah.
more cosmic, more anything,
definitely.
more
I mean,
anything
that's-
space related. Yeah,
He's the entire, you know, the entire head is the size of Morg.
that's
Look at
wild.
that.
That's just so crazy looking. I'm so excited. I mean, I've obviously got this big guy here. He's just sits on my desk all day long, but I'm over the moon excited to get my hands on Galactus. Cosmic stuff is right up there with X-Men stuff for me. So it's really cool that we're working towards that. And you know, and Dwight, you posted that video with you smacking his knees, showing us the improvements. And you know, I can only speak for myself. I've not had any issues with my Sentinels, but I'm excited to know that was something that you guys took into consideration, something that you know, you just tried to improve upon the Sentinel when it comes to Galactus.
Thanks. Yeah, most definitely. You know, I mean, you know, we like to hear from the fans, the goods, the bads, the indifference, just because we're not going to get better. We're not going to catch everything unless people are honest with us, right? So,
Right.
you know, when we can take something and we can take some learnings, and the Sentinel was the first character we had ever done on that scale. So there was such a massive learning curve on that item alone, that there was a lot of things that we could implement in Galactus to make a lot of improvements. And you know, while I won't say by any means is Galactus, you know, perfect either, but you know, we've, you know, made some significant you know, things to keep our eyes on to make sure that it's as close to awesome as we can deliver. And while no toy is a perfect toy, we're really pleased with this big guy, and I think he's going to be another amazing dual centerpieces for the Sentinel and the Galactus to be the backdrops of your guys' collections for a long time to come. And I think the creative services team did some amazing stuff with the packaging for Galactus as well, to give you even more awesome backdrop potential coming. So yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
Well,
Dave,
that is all I had for you guys today. I really appreciate the opportunity again to chat. And you know, I'll say it right now. Thanks again for Dan for getting Speedball sent over my way to take a look. You know, that was the highlight of the year so far, was to take a look at that guy. So I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll chat with you guys again sometime in the future here.
Sounds great.
No, it was good talking to you, man. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Peace.